Please continue standing for the national anthem of Papua New Guinea. And now, the national anthem of Vanuatu.
Wonderful views here this afternoon at the Sir John Guise Stadium as Port Moresby plays host to the MSG Prime Minister's Football Cup for 2025. The national anthems of both Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu ringing throughout, reverberating throughout the stadium. There had been a slight threat of rain earlier, but I'm glad to say that the weather has cleared up for potentially a wonderful afternoon of football, Lucy Maino.
That's right. Earlier, we had the thick clouds coming in and it was pouring heavy, but we're happy to say the rain has come and gone and it is now clear, and what is turning out to be a beautiful evening for some football ahead of us.
Well, this afternoon's PNG side being captained by Gordon Mark. The number 8 just about to dart off to go and meet his counterpart in Michel Coulon. Coulon, wearing the number 14 jersey, has most recently been announced as the latest sign-in for Vanuatu FC. Squad which makes its debut in the 2026 OFC Pro League. That of course will be something quite exciting for us to look at, with the plan for expansion to occur potentially in 2027 and eventually having women's professional squads also taking part in the Oceania region. In fact, one of the great things that we saw earlier today is that some of the players who took part in the PNG Reds and Fiji match will be making a push for the World Cup qualifiers, which also occur in 2026. Papua New Guinea playing in their traditional red. On your screens, there will be On your left-hand side with Rafael Rudolph, number 21. We kickstart play here at the Guise Stadium. As was mentioned earlier, the intensity will be quite high in the opening few minutes. Nicholas King, Gary Awak, who did feature for Ifira Blackbirds in their debut 2023 when they hosted the OFC Champions League. Dropping down to receive this is Bill Kaltak. A quite familiar surname for those that follow the A-League in Australia. One of those Caltex had actually just left Western Sydney Wanderers to join Perth Glory. Coulon, King. Slight bit of movement on the left-hand side for Vanuatu. Katiamak. Ezra Tongan. He floats it in. Decent clearance this time by Ricky Nathan. Doesn't go very far though. Falls for Coulon, King. Firiam behind him. Kaluran Firiam. King again. There had been that slight rainfall. Almost concerning for both of us here in the commentary booth, Lucy.
That's right. But now it's turned out to be a great afternoon with the first shot on target from the Vanuatu side. Now I know it's been 2 minutes, but so far Vanuatu seems to have this game on their side with it under control, having the ball in their possession, stretching the field wide, trying to force that ball through.
Tongan, Coulon, King. Caltex dropped. Soto has Harwell. Coulon for Alex Sanil.
Good movement from the PNG side. It's forcing Vanuatu to keep the ball and just switch from one end to the other.
Alex Sanil, who had proved himself to be quite the player to watch for 2 seasons ago. He had in fact been one of the hopes of Auckland City at one stage. But it was a sliding challenge. Robert Harwell darting straight through. Miles over Daniel Sakura's goal mouth, but still Vanuatu testing Papua New Guinea. A deep clearance by Charles Gora. Throw in Vanuatu. Tense moments again, Lucy.
It's still Vanuatu that seems to be in control at the moment. This
Luca Tone with the delivery. Just gone straight over the head of Ricky Nathan. Throw. Katayamak will take this quickly. Caltech. Coulon. Caltech again. Lobs it for Xaniel. Drops down for Katayamak. Clear to no one in particular for Papua New Guinea. Trying to tread it through his Minalaloa. Dati gets a cross in. Great shot and a slip. And with 5 minutes gone by, Alexa Neal, playing up front for Vanuatu, opens the scoring here this afternoon. This is Guise Stadium. Here it is again, with a decent cutback.
Good patience right here, sends it in, and he was open wide. Track back just a little to give him that space to get a good shot and finish that ball behind the net. Great finish.
Waduna looking to ignite something for the host nation. You have to admit though, Lucy, the defense was caught napping.
That's right, he was open wide, and though it was missed by the person in front of him, he was right there when he needed to be.
Papua New Guinea through allow Moses.
PNG side have yet to gain possession in their attacking side. So far, Vanuatu seems to have possession in their defensive third, just stretching the PNG side.
Hello, Moses. Just clipping Ezra Tongon. Kulon. Leloa. Sanil is just holding back for a moment. Kulon. King, sorry. Waduna, quick 1-2 with quarter mark. PNG losing possession. Kiriamak. Here goes Vanuatu down the left-hand side. Tongan drop in, Caltech. Kulong with him, King waiting. The other Yamak on the far side. King. Kiriawak. Kulon again. Low drive. Roughly forced by Kathy Yamak. Kate Yamak takes his time, takes the shot.
Just over the crossbar from number 11.
Sakura had seen that coming from miles out, but still sliced across the crossbars. Not wasting no time. In fact, now a free kick given in a dangerous position. Charles Hayes compromising his squad. Caltech was darting across. You can just see Harrison Kamake on the sideline screaming at his forwards. There's that ball with Caltech just darting straight through. Hayes was a late challenge in a very dangerous spot for Vanuatu to try to take the lead. Well, Lucy, in previous discussions we had been talking about pace. 10 minutes have gone by. Wonderfully calm conditions here in Port Moresby. Alex Sanil. Sanil, low drive. Was deflected. Came off Joe Dennis. Tungan will take this throw. Let go by Yamak Sanil. Got time again. Tries to go for the 1-2. Still Alex Sanil off his left boot. Daniel Sakura though again had that covered, but Papua New Guinea survived yet again.
Yet again, indeed. And we are yet to see PNG gain some possession of the ball. At the moment, Vanuatu is just stretching them wide and out and trying to find that space between the defenders, which they are, putting high pressure on the PNG Red side.
Mark. Just looking for the run of PNG's number 13, Rodney Joseph. Actually, it was Nalo Moses who's shifted across with Sileon Hatagao playing on the far side. There's Hatagao himself wearing the number 7 jersey for the team in red. Curlin cross cleared, Coulon. Allowed to forward play on, says the referee. No, they hold it back. Minaloloa had a foot on the side of his hip. Played short by Nicholas King. Gary Awak. King again, Caltech drops, Coulon waits. Caltech has time. Not being pressured at all, Lucy, by any of the players in red, allowed to switch it. Luca Tony. Well, good defense by Joe Dennis. Papua New Guinea looking to counter. Mark goes left. Despite that opportunity, David Tita flips. Coulon. King, sorry, to Coulon this time, the captain. Taking over duties in the absence of talisman Brian Celtic.
Vanuatu taking their time with the ball. There's no need to rush. They're leading 1-0, patiently waiting to find space behind the PNG defense. We've seen different ways they've been trying to get the ball forward. That's either short passes or trying to sending the long balls between the PNG defenders. But you're right, at the moment, the PNG Reds are struggling to get a hold of that ball.
Waduno, who at one stage preferred to play as a direct central midfielder, now forced to play in a more defensive role. Rafael Rudolph sliding across. Ricky Nathan. Short. Lau Moses brought down. Free kick PNG. Lucy, 14 minutes gone by.
14 minutes gone by, and we finally have a free kick, a potential opportunity for PNG to capitalize. We'll find out when this free kick is taken in their attacking third. So far, all the yellow shirts, all within the 18-yard box.
David Tita. We're looking to curl it. Ricky Nathan is the tallest on the pitch. There he is. Nathan missed it. Middle Law will just let that go. Should I call Ricky Nathan, who is the number 5, but it was actually Charles Hayes. Here's the first shot from Papua New Guinea being taken by the captain, Gordon Mark. He hit that cleanly. But again, well, think it was Ricky Nathan who's actually switched to the right-hand side of defense. It was Charles Hayes, who's the tallest for PNG. You can see him, the lanky number 4.
Great height for defense.
In fact, one of the tallest players to ever play in defense for PNG would have to be Felix Komolong. Free kick, Vanuatu. It's a long delivery. Great header though by Loloa. Sakura high. Kulon will let that bounce for his keeper, Firiam. In about 7 months from now, we'll be watching the world's biggest sporting tournament, the FIFA World Cup, scheduled to be hosted in 3 nations for the first time in Mexico, the United States, and Canada. Waduna switches, covered by Tongan. Yamak was trying to dart through Caltech. Slippery condition. Sunil was waiting for that. Here's Hayes. And while he had time, Kate Yamak just blasted to the heavens. A call being given against Vanuatu. Hayes for the PNG Reds. Lobs it. You get the sense he was... See, now he's apologizing to Rafael Rudolph. Tungan. Sanil. Should easily be covered by Hayes. Sanil in possession.
Good defense by Hayes, giving his team time to track back and get information for this throw-in.
It was a delicate throw, still kept in play. Flag raised on the far side. Papua New Guinea's attack, though, appearing a little too predictable as compared to Vanuatu.
That's right. So far, it seems their play is to send the ball down and make their forwards run. At least that's what we've seen. Whereas the Vanuatu side, it seems to be unpredictable, sending a couple long balls in, but also playing short and building together.
Loloa. Tungan. Yamak. Good interchange between the left back and left midfielder for Vanuatu. They're able to alternate positions quite easily. From this distance, Lucy and I are also confused as to who actually is who. This is Tungan, Sanil, Yamak. Tungan off his left boot. Well, he decides to dart forward. Ricky Nathan, well, he'll just get a talking to, although the first yellow card of the afternoon and the tournament comes out. There it is.
Yellow card to the PNG Reds, number 5, Nathan.
A slight bit of frustration would have crept in. As Lucy mentioned, the PNG development side, the PNG Reds, have not had too much possession. Revea Harwell. Oh, beautiful high floater. Look at Tony again, delivers Sanil! Well, he's checking. Nicholas King, the fullback, finds himself at the opposite end of the pitch. It's a decent ball from Luca Tony, though. The PNG defense caught napping.
Fortunately for PNG side, that was an offside.
Cleared again by Sakura.
Another free kick handed to PNG Reds.
Waduna plays it quickly, gives it away though. PNG Bailey. Good movement up front. Norwalk was under pressure, although disappointment all around. Melau Moses didn't quite get the power that he wanted or that the stadium desired. King. Jawak. King, the center defender who almost found himself
King almost getting into trouble
scorer
over
sheet.
there.
Joe Dennis struggling to clear. Caltech, Sanil. Caltech. Haruel, sorry, who's wearing the number 8 with Caltech wearing the number 10.
PNG switching sides.
Dennis Hayes.
Again,
Moses lets it go.
forcing that long ball, trying to find their attackers. That seems to have become quite predictable at this time.
Kulon, Sanil being tracked by Yamak. Papua New Guinea, good movement at times though. But that last touch, Hatagao did a little too much, Lucy.
Yep, and now Vanuatu in possession again, taking their time with their 1-0 lead over PNG development side.
Mark. Waduna. Hayes. Hayes forced to clear. Couldn't quite find the support that he wanted. And a mistime pass by Corvea Haruel. And gives PNG a chance to move forward at least. Ricky Nathan. Tagao loses possession for PNG, although it's still a throw for the team in red. Tagao for a
Again,
long
forcing
switch.
those long balls, trying to find the forwards and the wingers.
PNG have to be careful. They've been caught out on the counter on more than one occasion. Damar is struggling to handle both Kerry Yawak and Luca Tony. Here's Tony, falls back in. With all that pace, Lucy, he did run out of real estate. Sliding clearance. Yawak still main control. He's holding, gets past the second player. Vanuatu down the left-hand side. Players in support, lots of yellow shirts. Haruel. The red wall rushed in. Waduna. Tagao. Haruel, Sanil. Ricky Waduna looking to break. PNG to Mark. Furiam forced miles away from his goal line. Papua New Guinea resorting to physicality rather than possession.
And that will be a free kick rewarded to Vanuatu.
And 60 seconds ago I told Lucy that it was only 10 minutes. 60 seconds later we're on the 26th minute with Vanuatu leading by 1-0.
And still maintaining and leading with possession, I'd say. PNG yet to find their momentum in this first half.
Keriawak right back for Vanuatu with this delivery. It'll be a long floater. There's a lot of players up front. With almost the entirety of the team in red defending. Keriawak, poor delivery. As PNG are looking to break, they're still struggling to get out of their half. Rafael Rudolph
trying to find that switch, but can't get the ball to his player.
Kulon, King. Harwell. Kulon. Disappointing from Dongon as Ketiamak darted forward. Kulon. They played short. Harwell. Caltech. Yawak. Tony ahead of him. Option instead for Caltech again. King. Harwell. Call on. Vanuatu. Good spill of possession for the visitors. Tony wide. Holds. Sakura forced into yet another save. PNG playing with a 4-4-2 system this afternoon, although I have to admit the twin midfielders for PNG leaving a lot of space in the center.
That's right. There seems to be a bit of a disconnect between the lines, which might be forcing the defenders, PNG defenders, to play that long ball.
Utagal. Nathan. Again, Papua New Guinea losing possession as Midaloa brought down. Still a switch occurs. Rafael Rudolph. Challenged heavily by Keriawak. Rudolph pulls the trigger, body's in the way. King will hold. Caltech was calling for it, so too Sanil. Caltech went through his feet. Harol will just let his opponent midfielder run. Vanuatu covering space quite easily, outnumbering Papua New Guinea's attackers with multiple yellow shirts around every single player that's in red with the ball.
It seems like wherever on the field there's a bunch of yellow shirts over red. Vanuatu doing a great job to cover this entire field no matter where the ball is at.
Lucy, they call Rabona exercises. Or the team in possession outnumbers the defenders. In this case here, it's the opposite for Papua New Guinea. Yawak falls, Caltech holds. Kulon. Yamak lets it drop. Papua New Guinea back in possession with wooden mark. Hayes. Goes back for Sakura. The hasty clearance and not the best of it. Waduna in possession for PNG. Quick play down the left-hand side. Moses Brought down by Nicholas King.
And the referee's calling it a foul. Yellow card for King. Number 4 for Vanuatu.
Here it is. He knew he wouldn't take on David Tita for pace. Captain and midfielder Gordon Mark over the ball for PNG development side, the PNG Reds. Currently chasing a 1-0 lead after Alexa Neal's 5th minute opener. Mark with the curler again, looking for the height of Hayes. Goes direct instead, it's high. There he is, Gordon Mark. Lucy, he did have options.
He did have options, but opted to go for a goal.
King. Coulon. Tungan wide. Haynes won the header. Tungan. Yamak ahead of him. Coulon rebuilding. Caltech. Coulon clears. Sanyo. Loa. Vanuatu missed opportunity for them themselves. We just got a glimpse of Harrison Kamake, coach for this PNG development squad. Waduna. Otago. Well, he had the idea. Hello, Moses was open wide. A bit too heavy on the touch though, Lucy.
Yep, just a bit too much.
Coulon again. Vanuatu at first starting short, now longer balls, Loloa. And again, the heck balls away, only going as far as the halfway line. Tungan. Yamak just looking at his left back in confusion. Lucy, it almost feels PNG are trying to do too much. An easier option would be ground balls closer to feet with the weather as it is.
That's right, and we see another yellow card from the referee.
This one given to
Moses.
Moses. It is that frustration creeping in, Lucy.
Yeah, the players have to be careful on this pitch because earlier, just before the game started, there was a downpour, and so the field is wet. And the way they're so fast, obviously coming in, hard to stop yourself sometimes, and the momentum carries, and therefore we're seeing a lot of fouls happen, as well as a lot of slips.
Late challenges, almost anticipated.
Now PNG side with 2 yellow cards.
Well, taking a look at the replay of what exactly happened, as Lucy made mention, with the ground as wet as it is Coulon. Almost, I have to say, that does appear intentional. He did have a very late trailing left leg. Lars Hop, the head coach for Vanuatu, urging his players to really remain focused. You do feel that Vanuatu themselves are forcing play more when they don't have to, considering the amount of possession that they already have.
That's right. And you would think that with that amount of possession and the chances they've had, it would be more than one goal. But at the moment, it's 1-0. So I can imagine the coach telling them to capitalize on those counters and just putting those balls behind the net for the Vanuatu side.
Kulon back on his feet. Tongon. Yamak darting forward again. Diminutive on the left. Tungan. Kulon. King waiting. King gets. Floating it high for Alex Anil. Good defense again by Charles Hughes. Switch again by Waruna. Looking for the run of Tita. Luca Tony. Haruo. Still Papua New Guinea in possession. David Tita. Well, there's only one player forward for PNG. Rafael Rudolph is alone still. PNG in possession. Gordon Mark brought down by Bill Caltech in one of the sweetest spots on the pitch, Lucy.
Indeed. Just beyond the 18-yard box, right in front of goal. It'll be interesting to see how Vanuatu sets up to defend this free kick.
Gordon Mark being brought down. Here's the original run by Utagao. You can tell that Bill Caltech knows exactly what he's done wrong, because this is a decent spot for a strike with Nala Moses over it. Kalaran Firea screaming at his wall. Rafael Rudolph lobs it. Wasted chance. Still a corner kick, PNG. Actually, after 38 minutes, it's the first corner of the afternoon. The referee just calling for a bit of attention for Kalaran Firiam. You know, Lucy, one of the great things about this tournament is, regardless of, like, we do know it's football, but it's also about the regional community that we have, one Melanesian.
Absolutely. And sport, that's what sport has the power to do, you know, bringing people together. And in this case, our Melanesian brothers and sisters.
Gordon Mark over the ball for PNG Reds. Decent number of players in the box for both sides. Clear swinger!
What a fantastic curve on that ball taken by Waduna.
Kalaran Firiam, he'd been tracking that corner number 2 back-to-back for PNG. Tita to take another in-swinger. The squad inside the box, clearing this time. Kulon urging his team upward. Well, they're pushing forward this time. Vanuatu Haruo. Kurkuru let it go. Pass home with Coulon. Nathan. Went forward again, and Harwell this time. He's going to have a conversation with the referee. Look at Tony, yes it is. I was going to make mention earlier, Lucy. There's a player that played for Italy in the World Cup wearing the, who was the left back. His name is Luca Toni as well.
That's awesome. Looks like a Vanuatu player down. He's back on his feet. Still going to be a throw-in for PNG.
Throw on the far side for the PNG. Oh, wonderful turn. Matago. Caltech. Over the head for Harwell. Caltech still pushing forward. Sanil. Caltech moving leftward. Sanil inside. Sliding challenge from the captain, Gordon Mark. Throw in Vanuatu. Tungan. Coulon high. Israel Tongan appealing and winning a free kick for his side. And in today's earlier fixture, we had a total of about 14 minutes in total of additional time, Lucy, for this match here. It's been super quick.
It has. It actually has gone by quite fast. Referee just giving a warning to Mark, captain for the PNG Red side.
Prior to the start of this match, Harrison Kamaka had said that this was one of his most balanced squads he's had in a while. Players from across Papua New Guinea all united under the same colors. As Rafael Rudolph couldn't quite outpace Kerry Yawak. Yawak himself has also who's also got OFC Champions League experience with Ifira Blackbird, if I recall correctly.
It's going to be a throw-in for the PNG side.
Taken quickly. Given away almost as fast. Haruel, Kaltak, Tungon. Kaltak brought down, strong challenge. Utagao. Mark pulled the trigger, body's in the way though. Yeah, Mark loses possession. A bit more urgency from PNG this time with Ricky Nathan, although he'll have to drop back to cover. Sanil looking to break. Yamak, he drops. Tony's waiting. Yamak holds. Arwell. Caltech was just looking to run that for Tony again, who's forced to sprint back and cover. Coulon lets it go. Hacked away. Papua New Guinea, better spell of possession for the home side. Hands being raised this time. Allow Moses falls for the captain. Yet again, Yellow body is in the way. Hayes. This looks like Waduna. Yes, it is. Nathan. Disappointment all around. Good spill of possession by Papua New Guinea.
They've certainly brought the intensity in the last 2 minutes. And we're just moments away from half-time.
There will be a minimum 3 minutes of added time.
Speaking of which, Lucy, 3 minutes of added time. 3 more minutes for at least a goal to come in. Loa.
Great clearance.
Again by, I think it was Ricky Nathan. Waduna. Rafael calls. A sliding challenge by Ezra Tangon.
Yeah, that was quite challenging, but they just brushed it off.
Tangon again. Ricky Nathan with the throw. Rudolph. It's that last pass, Lucy. For all the possession that both teams are having, that last pass that is begging the question for both sides. Waduna. Couldn't quite turn. Harwell. Kaltak. Tony sprinting. And surprisingly, it's kept in play. Maybe Tita.
Oh. Referee says
the
play
referee.
on.
Caltech. I'm slightly concerned. He did receive a yellow card already. It high for Yawak. Inside the box for Vanuatu. Looking to go down. Play on, says the referee. No, it's out for a corner. Well, Lucy, for all the possession that Vanuatu have had in the first half here, and right at the death, they win their first corner of the afternoon.
That's right. And for all that possession, they've only been able to capitalize on one. Could this be another one?
Carwell drifts it to the far post. Nathan King missed it. Looks like a flailing arm on Jason Waduna. That brings an end to the first 45 minutes here at the Guise Stadium. There's the opening men's fixture of the MSG Prime Minister's Football Cup 2025. My oh my, what a intense first half this has proven to be.
That's right, Jeremy. We've seen a lot of intensity brought from both sides. And with the condition of the field,
as expected, Lucy, 70% of possession by Vanuatu, and the number of shots being taken to an extent shows the intensity that we have seen. Papua New Guinea for, well, despite the attack, the limited attack that they've had, have managed to have a number of set pieces, 4 of those being from corners being taken. Although in terms of both teams will want to be careful in the second half with the number of yellows that they both received.
Correct. And the intensity that they're bringing, especially with the condition of the field, it's nice to see that everyone's still happy and that we haven't seen any moments of frustration being aired out.
Speaking of being aired out, let's just take a look at the first half highlights about to be aired right now. Perhaps the most important event that happened was quite early on, this shot being taken by Kate Yamak. Although it was even after this shot from Haruel, but here on the 5th minute, you can see Luca Toni's cross missed a number of players with Alex Salih and Saniel at point-blank range. There was nothing that Daniel Sakura surrounded by 2 yellow shirts. There's almost nothing he could do. Moments later, Vanuatu taking more and more shots. In fact, this was Sanil again, about several minutes after opening the score in Papua New Guinea though. Wow. The best attacking chances had come through both Gordon Mark and Nalau Moses. One of the few opportunities that PNG had. We'll head off for a few short messages and continue with the second half of Vanuatu versus PNG Red here at the MSG Prime Minister's Cup 2025.
4.
Welcome back to the Guise Stadium in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. I would also like to welcome all our viewers across PNG. Thank you, Strat Lokam Watsimpla, Mina Lucy Maino, close up inside commentary. I'd also like to say Bulavinaka to our friends and neighbors and family over in Vanuatu. Also across to the Solomon Islands. We'd like to hello lo yufla lan lo WhatsApp. Natu ikam long online lo Vanuatu lo Torba penama Sanma Malampa Shefa na Tafea province. Welcome to this coverage of the MSG Prime Minister's Cup 2025. It is about unity, Lucy.
That is correct. And this PM's Melanesian Cup theme, One Melanesia, is so fitting for this tournament. We've got our Melanesian brothers and sisters here with the inaugural women's tournament that has now been introduced into the Prime Minister's MSG Cup. And so we're excited to bring you the live coverage of this tournament throughout the next 2 weeks or so.
Wonderful inclusion ahead of the 2026 FIFA Women's World Cup qualification process as we kickstart the second half. No changes being made by both sides. Scores as they stand. It is 1-0 in favor of Vanuatu with that 5th minute strike by Alex Xaniel. As Papua New Guinea look to equalize. Can you see Rafael Rudolph pushing forward?
And the referee calls it a goal kick.
Henry Kurkur on the left-hand side in defense. He's had a really good matchup against Kate Yamak. Mark There's Yamak himself looking to thread it through to Bill Kaltak. It's Karyawak. Haruel was hoping that Nicholas King would touch it quickly toward him. How have you found the pacing of the match so far?
Definitely more intensity than the women's match that we saw just before, where we had the Fiji women's national team play against the PNG Reds, the women's development squad. And you can see a very huge difference in the men's and the women's game. But this afternoon, it's Vanuatu who set the tone for the first half. But although they had most of the possession, they were only able to get one ball behind the net. We still have a whole second half to go. It can go either way.
Karyawak with the throw. Well, the winner of this tournament, Lucy, will set their sights top of the group as all nations taking part look to qualify for the semi-finals. Finals are expected over the next few days as another harsh challenge, this time by Siloam Mutagao. Actually, it's Jason Waduna. Waduna has featured for a number of PNG youth national sides. In fact,
Now
he has
this
a
could be
sibling, Ricky,
dangerous.
who's also worn the PNG jersey at some stage.
Got a three-man wall from the PNG side.
Let's look at Tony. High delivery. He's looking for the head of Sanyo. Hughes. While Vanuatu's players have only concluded last week the regular season, for Papua New Guinea, the OTML National Premier League will see its finals after the conclusion of the MSG Prime Minister's Cup. Haroa losing possession again. Papua New Guinea rebuilding through their backline. David Sakura. Joe Dennis has almost run out of room on the edge. And again, the Carabono movement by Vanuatu. I remember a few years ago having a conversation with now former PNG coach who had made mention that one of the issues in the Pacific, it said scoring wasn't a problem, it was always defending. And you would have noticed that over the course of the past few years, one of the things that a lot of coaches have done with their various national squads across the region is to really rebuild the defensive abilities. Sanil. He wanted an earlier ball, but another corner for Vanuatu. It's the second one so far. In fact, Lucy, it wasn't until the last few seconds of the first half that Vanuatu had their first corner of the match.
That's right. PNG defense able to deny them corners up until that last minute.
Harwell. It's a low curl. You can just see Vanuatu's player is just, well, Alex Anil. Just rubbing his temple for a moment. Papua New Guinea pushing forward, trying to yet again. Waduna. Kurkur. Utagao. Tita whips it across. Header back inside. No one home for PNG. And that close. Caltech still on his feet. That's a free kick.
Jeremy, compared to the first half for the PNG Red side, it seems they're coming into the second half a little more confident. And I think that comes from being...
Well, look at Tony, skips past two, now past the third. Well, Joe Dennis had no choice, decent tackle, concedes a corner. Ezra Tangon will take this off his left boot, plays in the box for Vanuatu, goes high, Sanil. Kerry Yawak off his left boot, PNG survive, goal kick. Sakura will opt to go long this time. Charles Hughes pushing the rest of his backline further up the field. Decent turn, Gordon Mark. Otago. Better movement from Papua New Guinea.
Great switch.
Kurkur. This time to regain composure, Joe Dennis. Waduna. Hughes. Otago. Too heavy still. PNG in possession, though they're being forced backward. Yawak high. Sanila will just let this go for Sakura. Okay, Nathan, who's one of 4 players this afternoon with a yellow card. Laloa. Caltech lets that go. He'll have to be careful himself, Bill Caltech. He is one of the 4 in the referee's book at the moment. Mark holds. Otagao. Waduna. Check-in players calling.
Looks like the Vanuatu player is down. Hence the ref calling for assistance on the far side of the field. Number 19, it looks like Loloa is down.
Mila Loloa alongside his strike partner in Alex Anil. So taking a look at the Vanuatu bench. There are a number of players they have on standby. Speaking of which, we might be seeing David Yamak probably replace Loloa. Lucy, the MSG Prime Minister's Cup for 2025, of course, laying a friendly foundation for football in the region, and of course with the advent of bigger matches in 2026, one of which the FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers.
That's right. And what a fantastic time for women's football, especially in Melanesia, with the introduction of the women's tournament to this side, to this tournament, to start preparations now leading up to the World Cup qualifiers, because we know that's coming up. So great time to set that momentum, get everyone ready.
Decent time to have the competition. Also in 2026 there'll be club competition with the OFC Pro League set to kick off early 2026. Total of 8 clubs across the region.
Another great milestone for football in the Pacific.
Hughes. Wataka missed that. Still set by his captain, Mark. Dennis. Sakura. Gives it away. Disappointing with Luca Toni. Sakura that close to being punished. Saniel. He's thinking about it, heavy on the touch. Waduna. Waida. For Nala Moses. Good covering defense from Kiriawak. Almost allowed to slip. Waduna eventually gets it across to Kurkur. Deflection. Keepers down.
And the referee blows the whistle. Assistance needed to check out the goalkeeper, who is currently down.
We're about to see what happens to Kaloran Firian. I think it was David Tita that had darted in. It was actually Nala Moses caught him off guard momentarily. "60 minutes gone by here at the Sejong Guise Stadium. As Robert Haruel about to make his exit. And it's David Yamak, the number 18, coming on. Richard Waisele. With Yama coming in for Luca Toni. And Richard Waisele coming in for Milaloa. Papua New Guinea still looking for that equalizer here this afternoon at the Sejongkai Stadium. Has been end-to-end stuff. There had been the threat of a heavy downpour earlier, just prior to the start of, well, just prior to kickoff. The skies had cleared, allowing for a wonderful afternoon of football, hasn't it, Lucy?
Absolutely. What a beautiful afternoon. If you weren't here when it was raining, you'd think it never rained, actually. Right here we see what has caused the free kick for Vanuatu.
Katayama just shrugged off the ball by Moses. Robert Harwell will take this free kick for Vanuatu. It's a decent high ball. Wasn't cleared the first time. Still Vanuatu in possession. Falls all the way back to Keriawak. Hughes awkwardly clears. Nathan to Hughes. Joe Dennis is wide. Hughes looks to go long. Good covering defense from the backline by Vanuatu captain Michel Coulon. He is Coulon. Harwell for Saniel.
Oh, great
Strong
defense.
challenge by Joe Dennis. PNG in the first half had very few shots on goal. In the second, they've had almost none. This throw about to be taken by Nathan. Well, PNG do have a chance. Nicholas King saved them from blushing. Katiamak, ref calls a hold to that. The ball has gone out. Papua New Guinea pushing forward, might be a chance for 1-0. 1-1, sorry. A wonderful save by Firiam. I think it was Rafael Rudolph that was just sprinting through that space, Lucy.
Yeah, he could have been in trouble if he didn't come out.
Joe taken on the far side, PNG in possession. Goal kick being given, and you can see the keeper, Kaloran Firiam, just urging his players to settle in. For all of Vanuatu's possession in the first half. Papua New Guinea have stepped up in the second.
Absolutely. You can see the intensity they're bringing into this second half. But yet Vanuatu still denying PNG Reds their first goal.
Ezra Tangon had trying to smash that the other way around, although play on, says the referee. Well, Lucy mentioned the intensity. It's now all about urgency. PNG, though, have to be careful. Vanuatu love counter-attacking as they do so now.
Great defense by Hayes. Sliding over to deny Vanuatu moving forward. Giving them a throw-in, but enough time for the players to track back and get information. As Vanuatu takes that throw-in.
Robert Harwell, he had a bit more pace over Hayes. Sanyel. Yawak floats it. TC Rapu Yamak. Well, it deflected off a player. In fact, it came off the substitute in Richard Waisele. Goal kick PNG. Sakura clears. Nathan. Papua New Guinea fighting up front through Rafael Rudolph. Lucy, this could potentially be a glimpse into what the future of the PNG men's national football team could look like.
That's right. And you can see they're not afraid to step up. Still playing hard, keeping Vanuatu at only 1-0 at the moment.
Hayes, more comfortable in defense than ever before. Wonderful movement again by, this time from the substitute, David Yamak. Caltech try to be a little bit more expansive. Papua New Guinea pushing forward yet again. Although the final pass in the attacking third still leaves a lot to be desired. Gordon Mark, the captain for PNG Reds, just urging his players more. Yamak. It's David Yamak on the right-hand side of the pitch for Vanuatu, right midfield, with Kere Yawak at right back.
I tell you what, the PNG Red side have stepped up tremendously compared to the first half. Now you can kind of see that it's somewhat not really equal, but they're doing much better with possession and playing high intensity, not afraid to step up. But at the moment, it's Vanuatu who have the ball.
Waisele. Challenged by Joe Dennis. Mark. Itogao switches across to David Tita. Offside flag given for the striker. PNG's forward players interchanging in their positional play. It does give you hope that there is enough firepower up front for the home side.
Both teams very quick with their counters. Clearly a more high-tempo game compared to the match that we saw before.
Maintaining the same lineup that started the match. Tiamak for a header. Down on the sideline, I can see the PNG assistant coach, Valentine Nelson, former PNG international and former the City FC defender. She won a few grand finals in the National Soccer League. Was also part of that golden generation from 2016 that played here. That memorable OFC Nations Cup run. Wonderful through ball given there by Kurkur. Sumptuous. Teed it up nicely for Moses. Yawak. Yamak. Casual Papua New Guinea on the counter yet again. Tita. Well, there's a chance for the equalizer!
And that's a goal! What a great finish from number 18 from PNG Reds.
Well, Lucy, they've been begging and asking all those questions. Kanaran Firiam looking on in dismay, so too defender Ezra Tangon. The PNG, the development side for PNG, urging the crowd that is here for that support. It's right on the 71st minute. Now Moses. Well, Lucy, here it is again. Beautiful through ball from Waduna.
Quick
Before it was
counter.
cut back by Etago.
A very calm and collected finish from Moses.
Well, 72 minutes gone by. Papua New Guinea now with the equalizer.
Goal scored for Papua New Guinea by number 18, Nalau Moses.
Lucy and I had spoken about this. We knew there would be goals.
The PNG Reds have certainly stepped up, capitalizing on one of those counters, and that brings them to 1-1 against Vanuatu.
In fact, Papua New Guinea had been starved with possession in the second half. That was the only attempt they've taken so far. Sanil. Combining well with Waisela in this really compressed space. Hughes. Charles Hayes. Moving long. It actually had him confused with another defender named Stereke Hughes, who's with the Fiji national team.
It's probably the height.
Looking on in interest right now is the Solomon Islands national football team. Free kick given for Vanuatu with about 15 minutes of regulation time remaining. Papua New Guinea looking to break on the counter yet again. Rudolph pushing forward. Yelmark under pressure. They're much more confident now than they were earlier on, Lucy.
You can tell by the way they're holding onto the ball, the patience and getting creative.
Sanil turns!
Just to the right of the goal. Or the left side.
That in itself shows the danger that Vanuatu possesses. Hayes.
Both teams showing great threat with their counters.
Rudolph Rafal has just pushed to a wider position with Nala Moses joining David Tita up front for Papua New Guinea. Moses again. Pushing forward. Here's Tita. In Iriawak. Ran out of room. Goal kick for Vanuatu. Dangon. Caltech. Waduna turning for his captain. Captain wide. Dennis. Mark. Gordon Mark finally gets a pass out. Rule shifts. Daniel free. Players in the box. For Vanuatu, they do opt to build it up again. This time covered nicely by the PNG midfield. Hutagao. King. Caltech. Tiamak. Waduna just smacks that away. King again. Who teams bypassing Sanil. Sakura will just hold. Lucy, it appears, might be a substitution.
It looks like we've got the captain down for the PNG Red side. Number 8, Mark. Team physio coming to check on what's going on. At the moment, I don't see the head coach calling onto the bench to warm up, so I'm not sure if there will be a substitution.
Just looking around, I think it might be Gordon Mark, captain. Well, Lucy, you've been in a similar position before. Looks like Charles Hayes will take over the leadership duties for the remainder of the afternoon, with Gordon Mark, Papua New Guinea's centre midfielder, now being brought off. Although Lucy, as you mentioned, no sign from the bench.
Not sure what the coach has in mind at the moment. He's making some signs, but we can't tell from here.
And I'm unsure whether Papua New Guinea has a focused attacking central midfielder. Perhaps that is what they need more than a holding at the moment. Kamaka did in fact name an extended bench.
And it looks like someone is up.
It might be Nixon Bernard. Well, Lucy, just like earlier today, it's the home side with one player down momentarily. Can Vanuatu capitalize on the superior numbers at this point in time? Sanil, space on the wide, still being muscled out strongly, forcing Yamak to blast that to the heavens.
Great defense on PNG side, tracking him all the way, forcing that player to kick that high. Looks like
substitutions on standby, Lucy.
He's coming right up, yes.
Nixon Bernard in for Gordon Mark. And Matu Ben in for Rafael Rudolph.
for Papua New Guinea, number 8.
Papua New Guinea making changes in both their central midfield and up front as they look to take the lead at home.
Rafael Rudolph is replaced by number 22, Matu Bear.
The last match that Vanuatu played against Papua New Guinea was towards the end of 2024. PNG victorious, the senior men's national team by 2-1. The referee just urging ball to be played much quicker. Silia Matago just shielding that ball for PNG to maintain possession. Actually, Jason Maduna actually. Kiamak. There's a slight bit of confusion between Harwell. Papua New Guinea pushing forward. King sliding. Harwell down.
Both teams putting high pressure.
PNG
and
pushing
high
forward
defense
this time
pressure.
through David Tita. Raising the tempo. Up in the ante.
Well, with less than 10 minutes of regular time, you will see both teams are going to be coming out stronger, both on defensive and attacking sides.
Hotaga was trying to thread that through. Referee against the wishes of the watching audience. Actually, the substitute David Yamak is down. It's also another PNG player. I'm not sure if it's Henry Kurkur is also receiving some attention with this afternoon's makeshift captain Charles Hayes just having a conversation with the referee. Lucy, what have your thoughts been on PNG central defense?
Hayes has been excellent at the moment, using his height, and he's playing to his strength, as we can see, taking a lot of those goal kicks, a lot of those free kicks, trying to get that ball behind the defense line of Vanuatu. He's been staying a lot more deeper than we'd like to see, but that's all right because they're playing to their strength. Now we see Vanuatu is they've got pace all over the field, and therefore he's just staying a little bit low, but doing well so far.
I've also been impressed with Jason Waduna, who's playing as a central defensive midfielder.
It's covering a lot of this pitch.
It also allows PNG to shift from a 4-person backline to really start expanding that width in attack.
That's right, and if we want to get more goals, we have to push it.
Hayes high. When he goes down, Tita, I think, will win a free kick for PNG.
Yellow card.
Actually, Nixon Bernard, the substitute. And Vanuatu captain Michel Coulon receives the 3rd yellow card for his team. Here's the captain and recent signing for the new Vanuatu squad that will take part in the OFC Pro League in 2026. Here's the challenge again. It was unnecessary considering the number of yellow shirts. They had that covered. Lucy, free kick from a good position.
Absolutely. Just between the 18-yard box and the halfway line. All these guys can take pretty good kicks from that side, I'd say. So this can be dangerous.
It was an anticlimax, so to speak. Well, just under 3 minutes of regulation time remaining here at the Sejonggai Stadium. PNG development, the home side's development squad, the PNG Reds. Well, they'd been down by 1-0 as early as the 5th minute before pulling one back. It was on the 71st minute. Yawak, Sanil. Vanuatu pushing forward. Good challenge again by Hayes. And a free kick given against. Well, there's a bit of frustration there also by Siloam Utagao. Felt he'd been hard done by because it was his turn. Here it is. Still, Vanuatu free kick. Ezra Tangon over the ball.
Looks like a substitution is being made on the PNG side.
Substitution for Papua New Guinea number 20, Henry Kurkur, is replaced by...
A surprising change as Dave Caboro comes in for Henry Kurkur. Fresher legs in defense at least.
Yellow card.
Yeah, looks like it's a yellow card for Jason Waduna, I think. Was the nearest one to the referee. There's 3 yellow cards apiece this afternoon's fixture. As Ezra Tangon over the ball for Vanuatu. Nicholas King's in the box. Caltech walks across. He's supposed to check the left back. And again, the attempt just going wide, bringing disappointment to most likely the small contingent of Mivans here.
4 minutes of added time.
And looks like it's going to be 4 minutes of added time.
Mounting pressure for both sides. Let's hope that Kiriawak, Tiamak, high. Allowed to bounce for the substitute. Cleared. Utagao. Cool on drop in. And it appears up front. Natu Ben limping as well. You can see him down on the pitch at the moment. The recently brought on substitute.
It looks like another player is down for the PNG Red side. We've been seeing a lot of players go down in the last 10 minutes.
Actually, it's the goal scorer, Nala Moses. Admittedly, though, he has exerted himself exceptionally well this afternoon. The potential substitution about to occur most likely will be Ganigapi. He will make his debut for the youth national team of Papua New Guinea. We have seen impact happen in the last minute of regular time.
That is correct. So this is where you have to be extra aware. And with 1-1 for PNG and Vanuatu, both teams are going to want to get another ball in the net. It's going to be a throw-in for the Vanuatu side.
Sanil drops. King. Yamak. Kiriawak. Well, you can see players on the opposite end calling for the ball. The cover done by the PNG Red squad has really shut down a lot of the attempts, especially late in the second half by Vanuatu. Yamak Sanil decides to go himself.
Good clearance by number 19.
Robert Haruel trying to dart through. The cover, of course, by Joe Dennis. We can only assume seconds remain. And in PNG's favor, offside flag from the referee's assistants.
And we're seconds away from the referee calling this full time.
Hayes launches it high. And Lucy, as you mentioned, well, in the first 45, it had been roughly 70% possession by the visiting Vanuatu men's national football team. The second 45, a stark contrast to that, Lucy.
Indeed, indeed. As we saw in the first half, Vanuatu in that 5th minute putting that ball behind the net. Maintaining possession throughout that first half with the PNG Red side trying to figure out how they were going to shake off those nerves. But it wasn't until the second half when they entered that you could see a more confident team that came out from the tunnel. So I'm not sure what the coach talked to them about, but whatever he did or whatever he said, they obviously came out more prepared, more confident, being able to get a ball in the back of the net, making it 1-1 against the Vanuatu men's national team.
Well, Lucy, let's take a look at the second half highlights for this afternoon. A lot more action in the second 45 than in the first. In fact, as mentioned, it was Alex Sanil's 5th minute goal that set the tone for this afternoon. On more than one occasion, it was Luca Toni, who would later on be substituted by David Yamak. Papua New Guinea. Here's the goal by Nala Moses. It's a wonderful finish and a beautiful through ball from Jason Moduna. Right on the 71st minute, as Papua New Guinea had struggled at times to gain possession. Although against the run of play, this is Alex Sanil's 80th minute turn. It was in fact one of a lot of attempts that he himself had to do. the other hand, it was frustration from Luca Toni that did in fact lead to his substitution. And of course, moments ago, the final shot on goal being taken by Ezra Tongan. And Lucy, one of the great things about this is today marks the end, well, this match, the end of this match marks the end of day one of competition here at the MSG Prime Minister's Cup. We do have a number of matches scheduled.
That is correct. Now, if you didn't watch the earlier game, it was the women's game, the PNG Red, the development squad versus the Fiji women's national team that played at 1 p.m., followed by this game that we just witnessed. The next games we have will be on November 13th, on Thursday, with PNG Gold. That is the PNG women's national team take on Vanuatu women's national team. That will be at 1 p.m., followed by the PNG Gold men's national team taking on Solomon Islands. Both games will be played at the PNG Football Stadium. So be sure to join us 1 p.m. for the women's match and 4 p.m. for the men's match.
Thank you, Lucy. We are expecting a lot of great action in 2 days' time. Those matches to be held at the PNG Football Stadium. We'll, of course, be able to bring a different dynamic as we see the senior squads now in scope. A number of those players being your former teammates as well.
Indeed. And if you are tuning in from Port Moresby, please come out and support the national teams that will be playing, that will be taking on the field on Thursday. And if you are everywhere else across the Pacific and around the world, I'm sure you will check out what time it will be in your time zone and be sure to stream live while Jeremy and I bring you the full coverage of both matches.
One of the things that we're also looking forward to is seeing our fellow Melanesian teams for the MSG countries that are here, running with the theme
One Melanesia, that is correct. And what an amazing opportunity for women's football in the Pacific with the introduction to the women's tournament to the Prime Minister's MSG Cup. Obviously, this is the first, and we will be seeing more of it, creating more fixtures, more games for the women's football in the Pacific region, especially for the Melanesian countries.
Well, we're going to head down to the sidelines as we have Vanuatu head coach Lars Hopp on standby.
Coach, good game. Despite the weather conditions, a bit slippery out there. Did you execute your plan this afternoon for your first game?
Yeah, I think I want to give a compliment to my team because we had a quite short preparation and you could really see that they tried to do the things that we spoke about. Thought we had a really good start, created many chances in the first 10-15 minutes and take the lead deservedly. Then the game evens out a little bit, and I think in second half PNG was improving. A little bit disappointed with the goal they get, but in the end I think it's okay result. Could have been more, but a draw is also fair and okay.
What are the areas that you need to improve on moving on to the next match?